Hello, today we are going to review exponent rules. The first rule is multiplying, so we're multiplying two variables. We are going to add the exponents together. So if we look at our first example here, we have these coefficients, the numbers out in front. I'm just going to multiply these two together, so 3 times 4, which is 12. And then I'm going to add my exponents together. So I have x to the fourth times x squared, which is just going to get me x to the 4 plus 2, which we can simplify 4 plus 2 to be 6. So my final answer would be 12x to the 6th. And if I have more than one variable, like I do in my second example, I just keep the x's together and then the y's together. So same as before, the numbers go together, so 5 and 3 gets me that 15. I have x to the second power times x to the fourth power. So I'm going to add them together, which gets me x to the sixth power. And then I'm going to do the same thing for y. I have y to the third. I have y, there's no number here, but it's really to the first, right? There's like a secret 1 here, which gets me y to the 3 plus 1, which is 4. And that is my final answer for that question. Now we're going to go on to dividing. So the rule is when you have x to the a divided by x to the b, you're just going to subtract the exponents. So same thing as before, I'm going to keep my numbers separate. So I'm going to do 8 divided by 2 gets me 4. And then I'm going to do x to the 7th divided by x to the 3rd, and I'm going to subtract those exponents. So I'm going to get x to the 7 minus 3. And it's always the top minus the bottom. So my final answer would be 4x to the 4th power. And same as before, I keep the numbers separate, x with x, y with y. So I'm going to do my 6 divided by my 3, gets me 2. And then I'm going to do x to the 5th divided by x to the 2nd. So I'm going to do 5 minus 2. You get x to the 3rd power. And then same thing with my y. I have y to the 3rd and y again to that 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. When we have an exponent raised to another exponent, that is when we multiply those exponents together. The other thing you have to be careful of is that exponent is kind of distributed to each number in the parentheses. So in our first example, we have this 3, and then we also have this x to the 3rd. This x to the second power is going to go to both the 3 and the x. So I'm going to get 3 to the 2nd power. And then I'm going to get x to the 3 times 2. We have to make sure we simplify 3 to the 2nd power, 3 squared, is equal to 9. And then I'm going to get x to the 3 times 2, which is 6. So in our next case, we have our number, our x, and our y. And this 3 is going to be multiplied every exponent in there. So even though the 2 and the x don't have 1, there secretly is a 1 there. Right? If there's no number as written as an exponent, it's just a hidden 1. So I'm going to get 2 to the third, x to the third, and y to the 2 times 3, which is 6. And again, I have to simplify that 2 to the third, so 2 times 2 times 2, which gets me 8, x to the third, y to the sixth. Our last two rules are pretty straightforward. So our negative and 0. So anything with a negative exponent will go to the denominator, and anything with the exponent 0 is equal to 1. So if we look at this first one here, the only thing that has a negative exponent is the y. So that is going to become my new denominator. So I'm going to write this as a fraction, 3x to the second power, and then on the bottom is going to be y to the positive 3. So it just flips where it's at. So if the negative exponent was in the denominator, it would become the numerator. And then for our last little example here, anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So this whole thing right here has an exponent of 0. So this whole thing is just equal to 1. And that's it for the lesson.